What's going on, horror fans? Welcome back to another episode of Slash and Cast. My name is Riley.
My name is Nick.
And for those that are new here, I understand that you may be confused and wondering what Slash and Cast is. But let me just say that this was a show that got us all started. This is how it all began. Slash and Cast was just a podcast, a video podcast, where we just talked horror news. And it has come, and it has gone multiple times now. But this time we're legitimately bringing it back. We're doing it remotely, at least for now, yet hopefully as professionally as possible. This is kind of a test run for us. The thing is, you can't really pre-record these in advance because news is always happening. Things are always changing.
Right.
So we can't really, there was really no practice rounds. We just kind of had to go. But we're here now. Slash and Cast is back, and it feels great.
Yeah, and this was all done, because of the power of the Slash and Cast podcast network. So this show will be uploaded to all podcast platforms 24 hours after the video version releases on YouTube. And, if you haven't heard of the Slash and Cast podcast network, that's our podcast network. We got a lot of good shows on there, a lot of fun content, especially this October.
That's correct. Got a whole bunch going on, which all that you can find at slashandcast.net. One of the big things we're doing is the Halloween virtual convention. If you haven't heard of it, it is a virtual convention that we are putting on ourselves with a whole bunch of great people, including a whole bunch of shows from the Slashcast Podcast Network, as well as some celebrity guests, a lot of which have already been announced, including Dana De Lorenzo, Christopher Duran, CJ Graham, and the one and only Tom McLoughlin.
Now, speaking of Tom, let's jump right into the first concept from his concept script, Jason Never Dies.
Yeah, the thing with Jason Never Dies, if you haven't heard of it, we've covered it before, but this is a new script that Tom McLoughlin has written that is kind of a sequel to Jason Lives and takes place in the 90s in 1999, which is super cool. All right, we interviewed Tom a while back. We've interviewed him again for the Halloween virtual convention. I'm not going to spoil anything we talk about there, but one of the cool things that just happened is that he released these 3 new pictures to Bloody Disgusting. These are like storyboard images to give you an idea of where he wants to go with this film. And as I talked to him further, especially this phone booth kill, I did want to talk about that. That phone booth picture, that phone booth is actually the same one from Jason Lives.
Whoa.
That Tommy goes into. So just a good little salute to Jason Lives. That's at the same store. And if you look at the top panel there of that phone booth kill, you can see the boarded up windows. That's the Karloff station there, that grocery store, that gas station that he goes to. That's it. That's what's boarded up back there. So just saying that's pretty cool. And you can see the Jason Lives look. I will say that last picture where he's rocking the dual axes, or the hammer and an axe, whatever he's got going on there. It kind of looks like Jason Goes to Hell. So
yeah, I like that.
Either way, though, it's cool to see, and there will be 18 of these bad boys inside of the Scream Factory box set, which some of you guys should probably already be receiving. I know ours was just shipped today, I think, which of course we'll be doing an unboxing and review, but Bloody Disgusting got the exclusive here. They got 3 images, but there will be a total of 18 images inside of that box set.
Some quotes from Tom about those images. I was getting word that the lawsuit was going to get worked out. In the amount of time last year, I went and wrote it. By the time I was done with it, the deal fell through and the court thing continued, and nobody really wanted to take a look at it. I'm talking to studios like New Line and Warner Brothers. No one wants to mess with something without having the rights. I thought that I could either just sit on it, or at least I can share what I'm doing and why I'm doing it.
Yeah, which exactly, the lawsuit. I mean, come on. It sucks, and with word of mouth was happening a while back. It was like, hey, this thing's going to end. Go prep yourselves. Movies happening. Spring Hill. LeBron James. All that shit was happening, and Tom kind of jumped in on that. Unfortunately, here we still are with nothing happening. But another quote from Tom here. He said, okay, first thing, I want to take back artistic license and place this 13 years later after I put him down in the lake. Through this series of circumstances, once again, he comes back. This makes it 1999. That was a paranoid year for a lot of people. We thought in 2000, all the shit was going to hit the fan, even though my story has nothing to do with that, end quote. And, just to give you a little more context about all of this, what's cool about this is that it can technically be a standalone film. Yes, it is a direct sequel to part 6. I would say it's more of like a spiritual sequel to part 6. And us as fans who love Friday the 13th part 6, like I hope all of you do out there, we're going to find some cool things in there, like Easter eggs and references to part 6. That would be really cool for us as fans. But that said, if you're going in blind, haven't seen any of them before, you could enjoy this movie just as much as everybody else, which is pretty great.
Yeah, so his tale follows a group of Catholic high school girls who are supposed to go on a Catholic retreat over the Thanksgiving Day weekend. Ooh.
Which that concept alone is already interesting. It
Yeah.
kind of takes I mean, we're following all women here. And one of the cool things that Tom mentioned in the interview we did with him, that's for the Halloween virtual convention. You'll see it eventually. But he did mention that like you won't be able to guess who the final girl is. That's his goal. And I think that's awesome, man. To have that many strong independent characters will be pretty dope.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Another quote from Tom here. He said, quote, "The road gets snowed in, so they have to do an alternate camp, which is in the area of Camp Crystal Lake. It isn't the actual camp, but another one across the lake. They're sitting there completely oblivious that there's any person named Jason, any of the history, unlike Jason Lives, where people were savvy to it. And the stuff starts to hit the fan. These are all the girls that are on this retreat because they've done a number of things that are going to cause them to not move up a grade. They have a very stern-ass nun with them. So we have all these kick-ass girls and putting them against someone like Jason, setting it in winter, on Thanksgiving night. It's kind of my version of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner." I think that's a really cool concept. It's like, all of us fans want it to be back at Camp Crystal Lake, right? We want to be back in the woods, old school, OG Jason. And he's doing that, but at the same time, it's something like we've never seen before. All female led, all like rebellious teens. And then you have the nun who Tom has kind of said in interviews that is kind of your antagonist, but then Jason steps in as well. So I don't know. It's pretty cool, man. I don't know if it'll happen. Who knows? But just the fact that Tom is doing it, I think that's cool. All right, with that out of the way, moving on to our next topic, Predator Hunting Grounds. A brand new patch came out, which Nick, have you tried the new patch at all yet?
I have it downloaded. I was getting ready to play it, but I just haven't had time yet.
This new patch came with a handful of things, all right? The two big ones, you got the new game mode, which is Clash, and then you have the new map, which is like it's interesting because it's like elevator based. It's called Excavation, and you have a whole bunch of elevators that you can access. You're in a cave. And I will say, although you're stuck in the jungle again with this map, it is noticeably different than the other maps, and I think there's some fun to be had there. So it definitely stands out more than like the 3 maps we currently have. I'll say that much. We still want a city, something more diverse than this, but it's getting there. It's not bad. The game mode, I did want to review it. I want to get out of the way. I'll make it quick for you. This game mode, it's a 4v4 scenario. It's literally just hardpoint in Call of Duty, but you can become the Predator. All right. And it's okay. It's an all right game mode. The pros of it, it's fast paced most of the time. I'll come back to that. It's definitely a nice change of pace compared to the, just doing objectives over and over again, the same shit, holding square, moving on. It's definitely a nice change of pace compared to that type of game mode. And then when you're the Predator, that's a blast. If you're playing smart, you do die fast as shit as a Predator if you're just kind of running in there and slashing yourself away. And that's what a lot of these Predators are doing. They get Predator, which is just point-based, and then you randomly get selected on your team. But I was kind of chilling with the bow. I was slamming a lot, kept my distance, and watching everybody just kind of panic all the time because of that was a lot of fun. So on that side of things, if you're playing it right, Predator can be a good time. The cons of this game mode, on the other hand, health, especially if you're going in with a Call of Duty background, it's just ridiculous. You have so much fucking health, especially if you're running certain perks. Now, I understand in this game, there is no automatic health regeneration. You have to use the syringe on yourself. Otherwise, there's just no health at all. And you just kind of hang on to your low health. But in that scenario, getting medium to long distance kills, unless somebody's already hurt, is pretty much impossible unless you have a sniper. If you're trying to kill somebody from range with an assault weapon, it's just not going to happen unless they have no health already. Now, I don't want this to just be like COD, but I really do think that they should probably go with an automatic regeneration for this game mode. That or just a whole lot less health. I don't know, but there's something weird about it when you're just spraying down a whole clip into somebody and they're not dying. Now, pace. I mentioned that it was fast paced, but sometimes, especially when you're in a 4v4 scenario, that can lead to a boring game on large maps. Sometimes, if people aren't good at FPS games, which a lot of people in Predator are just not, it's shocking how people can't aim their gun at all. It gets slow really fast. And just like the game itself, there's zero suspense here. It doesn't feel like a horror game at all. You're not fearing Predator whatsoever in this game mode. I don't even know if you fear him in the regular game mode, but you definitely don't in this one. So perhaps it's just a flaw of the game itself and not the game mode. But I'm just saying. So there you go. I hope that was kind of quick. People have been asking about it. It's all right. It's all right. Could they do better? Probably. I will say it's a more unique game mode than I anticipated. I don't know, man. I didn't think they were doing anything like this. It's kind of, it's like Dead Alliance, but not Dead Alliance.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all right. It's definitely worth checking out. I think if you're playing with a group of friends, for sure it'd be a good time. But playing with randoms and you're not communicating and you're just it can get boring pretty fast. But hey, that's my thoughts. Let's move on to our next topic. This one's super fucking exciting to me. The Haunting of Bly Manor just had every single one of its episode titles revealed, and you can start making predictions based on these.
Yeah, so every episode, got a poster, and oh my goodness, they're so cool.
They are.
So episode 1 is called The Great Good Place. Interesting. Episode 2, The Pupil. Episode 3, The Two Faces, Part 1. Episode 4, The Way It Came. Episode 5, The Altar of the Dead. Episode 6, The Jolly Corner. Episode 7, The Two Faces Part 2. Episode 8 has no title provided. And episode 9, The Beast in the Jungle.
Yeah, and it's already, you're already guessing a lot of things with these titles. It's there's two things that obviously stand out to me. One, episode 8 not being revealed on what that title is. You have to assume it's because they're spoilers, I guess. That would make you think why they're like, no. Then I think The Two Faces, part 1 and 2, the fact that those are separated by 3 whole episodes is also interesting to me. So no real predictions based on it. There's some people that are really picking these apart, and really trying to go for it, but I got nothing. I have no predictions based on this.
Yeah, I'm sure like in that episode 8 poster, like the dashes represent characters, so like letters that spell words. So like the first word might be the, because it has 3 little dashes.
Yeah, literally every episode has the word the leading it.
Right. So yeah, I would assume that that's the same way, but man, I can't even think of what they could be. It's got to be a spoiler.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting that they went with that approach though, for sure. Like, yeah, why? Cuz they did, I forgot about that. That's on the poster. That's just like the hangman just what's the underscore? It's just a whole bunch of underscores there.
Yeah.
So fill in the blanks, try to figure it out. I wonder if anyone will get that right. I'd be shocked. One thing I'm like really excited about with this is going in blind. With Hill House, I knew nothing. I never saw any trailers. I never read a synopsis, nothing. But there was so much hype. It was trending on Netflix, and I just decided to watch it one day, and it blew my fucking mind. I am trying to dodge Bly Manor as much as I can. We watched the original teaser, obviously, but I haven't, I didn't read the book at all. I have no idea where it's really going other than the basic synopsis, and I like that. Gonna try to keep it that way. We're already almost there. So, of course, on top of all the episodes, the full opening credits were released. I don't know why they did that, but they did.
Yeah.
And again, no real answers in there if you're going to look for spoilers, but they are cool nonetheless. But for those that don't know, The Haunting of Bly Manor is set in 1980s England after an au pair's tragic death Henry Wingrave hires a young American nanny to care for his orphan niece and nephew, who reside at Bly Manor with the estate's chef Owen, groundskeeper Jamie, and housekeeper Mrs. Gross.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting also seeing, anthology style, all the characters all the actors we saw in Hill House return for
Right.
Bly Manor as different characters completely.
Yeah, I mean, it worked with American Horror Story,
Mhm.
so I'm sure it could work here.
Yeah. So the series will be available to Netflix members worldwide on October 9th, a week away. Less than a week away.
No, it's like fucking 3 days at this point. What to say, the 5th when we're recording this, released on the 6th? So yeah,
I
we're
don't
like
know my days.
we're like 3 days away. It comes out this Friday.
We're supposed to
So.
be filming.
Yeah, it's, I mean, if you wake, because I don't know what like the times of release are, but if they got like a midnight release going on here on the 9th, could just watch it all day. Except we're gonna be way too busy, but could just watch it all day and just
I
be
think
done.
so.
All right,
All right.
moving on. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Wait, you want me to cut you off one more time?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Okay, just go.
Evil Dead Rises. We have the latest update from director Lee Cronin. The info comes courtesy of an interview with the Boo Crew podcast. Good show. Liked them a lot. He says, quote, "I can't say much about it, but what I couldn't do was just go back and try to emulate what's been done before. I needed to find my own way into the story, which took a little bit of time. And to choose a course and a direction that would deliver absolutely for the fans in spades. You know, what people would want from an Evil Dead movie? But that also has my identity and offers something of an expansion to the world that we've already used and hopefully draws in a new audience. So that process of finding what that could be took a number of months."
Yeah, you got it. Hats off to Lee Cronin on this, because I couldn't imagine going into Evil Dead being, hey, listen, you need to make a movie that Evil Dead fans are gonna like, but also you need to be super meta, change everything up, have it be unique to you, and still have everyone like it.
Yes.
It's a shit ton of pressure over there on Cronin, and I hope things are going well. Another quote here from that interview with the Boo Crew said, quote, "I really hope I don't mess it up, but I'm confident I'm going to do something that's both familiar and refreshing. I'm going to deliver a roller coaster of horror. That's what the goal is here. Relentless, not stopping to explain too much. It needs to be extremely visceral, highly entertaining, properly scary. To push boundaries, that's important as well." End quote. Again, Lee Cronin. I mean, you're putting yourself in a position, and I like how he's just like, I hope I don't mess it up, because usually you're told as like a director when you're doing press releases like this, like never say stuff like that. Don't just be like, dude, like I'm a little nervous, but I don't know if everyone's gonna like it. But I like that. I like that, being humble, being vulnerable to everybody, because that shows how much Lee cares about the franchise. So he should be like that. Now, while he did not confirm or deny a city/skyscraper setting, he did have this to say. It takes us to backdrops we haven't necessarily experienced the Deadites in before, certainly in the film universe. And it also brings a set of characters you don't expect to see interacting with the Deadites, which I think is going to put people on edge quite quickly in the story. End quote there. One thing I want to point out in that quote, he does say in the film universe. That was one of the first things when people were talking about cities and skyscrapers in more of an urban setting. I was like, well, the show kind of does that. And he made it pretty clear right there. It's like, well, the films haven't. So perhaps that's the most indicating thing towards what this setting is. It seems like it's like all but confirmed, right? That it's going to be a skyscraper situation.
Right.
A link to the full episode of the Boo Crew podcast in the description below. You should go check them out. I wish they were part of the Slashcast podcast network, but rip. All right, let's move on to our next topic of the day, our last topic of the day, something we've talked about many, many times before, have done several videos on. Voorhees, a Friday the 13th fan film. Its final trailer has just dropped from Cody Falk himself. We're going to go ahead and show you the whole thing here with Cody's permission. I think you're going to enjoy this one. Take a look. So there is the last trailer for Voorhees. In my opinion, that's the best trailer we've seen yet. For several reasons in my eyes. One, it was just the most cleanly edited. It was a fast pace, clean cut, sharp. I appreciate that. Doesn't spoil too much. Gives us just a little bit of lines here and there, some looks at Jason, some action. All around Voorhees looks like it's going to be pretty exciting, and I can't wait to see it, and you don't have to wait too long.
Yeah, it comes out on Halloween, October 31st.
Yeah, so only after, it's been like 4 years now, Voorhees has been in the works, I think. And now we're only a couple weeks away. It's kind of surreal. It's kind of like, we're doing our opening scene this weekend. And every time I thought about it, I never thought we'd actually get there. I don't know how to explain that, but it's like, it's like every time you think about it, it's like, we don't have to worry about it because are we ever going to get there? I feel like that's my whole life in a nutshell.
Yeah. Yeah. Our fan film has been, what now? Over 3 years, just a little over 3 years in the making. It's tough. It's real tough, and I'm glad we finally get to see Voorhees.
Yeah, it's like, Voorhees being complete. Yeah, it gives me a boost of motivation.
Oh yeah,
it's like, all right, we're right at the end of the road here for all of us. So many fan films coming out. You have Never Hike in the Snow drops in just a week from now. You have the Halloween Kills fan film coming from Jimmy Champagne, which we didn't specifically cover in here, and now looking back, I feel like we should have. But Halloween Kills fan film coming from Jimmy Champagne, as well as Vincent DeSanti working on that from Wom Stomp Films. So, I mean, you have that as well. Who knows? Maybe those boys at the Fall Camp Blood are dropping a new trailer sometime. I don't know. These are the things you got to look forward to. All right, folks, that's going to wrap up this episode of Slash and Cast. It's good to be back. Please let us know that you enjoyed this bad boy by dropping a like below. Leave a comment and all your opinions on these topics. And if you're not already subscribed, please do, whether that's here on YouTube or over there on the podcast platforms. Apple, Spotify, wherever else you listen to podcasts. We should be available everywhere based on my last report. So go listen to us. Listen to us on your trip. Make sure you go check out the podcast network, my friends. A whole bunch of great shows in there and more to come. A lot of exciting things coming from all of them this October. I definitely think now is the time. Head over to slashcast.net to find all of our shows. And of course, if you like what you see, you want to support us a little bit further, consider becoming a member by clicking the link in the description below. That includes over on the podcast platforms as well. You can join for as low as $2 and get a whole bunch of exclusive content as well. A lot of stuff to come this October. All right. Whew, that's it. Do you got anything else you want to sneak in there, Nicholas?
Nah, just glad to be back.
Glad to be back.
I'm in a little barren set here, but hopefully next week I got something on the walls.
Hey, everything we're doing here has to be done. We'll get better every time. Okay,
that's right.
The thing is, I can't see you. Like I can see me. You can see you. They can see us, but I can't see you, and you can't see me. Did you keep up with all that?
Yeah.
But I can hear you, and I guess that's all that really matters. But
yeah,
this remote stuff sucks. We need COVID needs to go away. Life needs to go back to normal. We need to be closer together. All these things.
Yes.
All right, folks. With that, as always, thank you guys so much for watching / listening, and we'll talk to you / see you next time.